Welcome to another edition of Hear It Here on the Bluegrass Jamboree. We've got with us this week Adam and Mikayla Burrows. I want to welcome both of you to the show. And how are things going with Adam and Mikayla?
They're going just fine. Everything's been good considering all the hectic stuff going on in the world right now. Everything's been going good. We've been very blessed.
You have been blessed, and I know we've not had a chance to speak in quite some time. I want to say congratulations on the marriage. You guys got married the latter part of last year. And so you've had a few trials under your belt for your first year, but you've also had some wonderful accomplishments. Adam, Mikayla, I want you guys to talk about that a little bit. What have you got going on?
Well, we've been, everything's been shutting down, of course. We did have some shows. We did our first show.
Around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, around Valentine's Day.
That was our first show ever as a group, so that was pretty exciting.
And we had a full house. We were very well received and very
we were
surprised ourselves. We had a full house, and it was the biggest crowd that the folks said they had ever had in there, and we was very blessed and honored for that. Then we played Cabin Fever Picking Party in March, and we was very well received there. Everybody really enjoyed what we did, and we had such a great time out there playing. And then everything came to a halt, as everybody knows, and what shows we did have got canceled. And so we decided, well, we can't do no shows, we might as well make a CD. Go ahead and get a CD out there. So that's what we've been working on. It's been doing some recording. We've been staying busy during this dead time, trying to get some recording done, get some music out there for people.
So who all is involved in the band, and what is the band name?
The official name is Adam and Mikayla and the Bluegrass Tradition. And right now, starting out, just kind of doing what a lot of groups do starting out. We've got some boys from Elkton, Virginia, that are going to be playing with us when they can. And my brothers play music as well, and they play with us here in the local shows of Virginia. But right now, we've not been able to have a lot of shows. We've been blessed, and we've trying to get it together and get the boys together and lined up.
Well, if you will, introduce each of the band member names or everyone that's on this project.
The name of the CD is Two Hearts and One Goal.
Now, where did that come from?
Well, I don't know. That was kind of...
I got to thinking, me and her both have the same goal in this music. And as you listen to the CD, you can really kind of tell our goal in it. Our goal is to, of course, perform and entertain the audience, plus keep the old traditional bluegrass alive, playing the old songs, kind of the old-timey bluegrass way. And that's where I kind of got the idea. So, well, it's Two Hearts, and we have the same goal. We have one goal to do that. And I said that there would be a good title for a CD. It's kind of where it came from.
Well, I think it works, and I apologize for interrupting you, Mikayla. You were going to tell us about the band members.
We got a boy right now. His name is Jacob Hensley, and he switches around for us on mandolin and guitar. And right now, we don't have a set banjo player, but we've had my brother, Caleb Hyde, has played banjo for us, and even my other brother, Isaac, has played for us, too. We've got a boy that has done some work with us named, Jamie Clark has done some work for us, but we're still kind of on the hunt for a set banjo player. We've got a few names in the bucket.
Yeah, we had a good friend of ours from Boone. He played the banjo on the CD, did a tremendous job, which I knew he would, and that was Tom Isaac. I've known him for years, and he did a tremendous job on the project with us.
Couldn't ask for any better with that.
Yeah.
Because we had another boy from Wisconsin that we were lucky to meet at Stigma this year. And we've talked to him about playing banjo for us, and we had actually hired him to do this CD for us, but he couldn't travel because they kind of shut everything down and shut out-of-state travel down, and we kind of didn't know what to do for a little bit, and we called Tom up, and it was short notice for him, and considering he did so well on it. He didn't have, a lot of time to practice up the songs, but he did tremendous on the CD.
Well, let's take a listen to one of the songs off of this project. Again, the name of it, Two Hearts and One Goal. Here is 10 Paces.
I stole my best friend's sweetheart. We were so much in love, and in the heat of anger, he slapped me with his glove. So now as dawn is breaking, there's nothing I can do but to shoot the truest friend I ever knew. 10 paces, then I'll have to turn around. 10 paces, and shoot my best friend down. We played with wooden pistols when we were only boys, but now we face each other with guns that are not toys. These tears that plainly blind me, and I know he'll shoot to kill, so I'll have to match his anger with my skill. 10 paces, then I'll have to turn around. 10 paces, and shoot my best friend down. I heard my sweetheart's courage just as my shot rang through. The way she sobbed and held him, I knew I lost her too. I'll curse the dawn tomorrow, and each day from now on, for everything I loved in life is gone. 10 paces, then I'll have to turn around. 10 paces, and I'll shoot my best friend down.
We are back with Adam and Mikayla and the Bluegrass Tradition. It's brand new music that you're hearing from them, and I have Adam and Mikayla on the phone with me. Thank you for this wonderful project. Thank you for taking time to talk with me today in regards to this new CD. And
You might as well.
well, with things kind of up in the air, we don't know what direction we're going to be able to go. Where do you hope to see things going in the near future for your band?
We hope to be playing more festivals, doing a lot of the festivals on the circuit. That's kind of one of our things. Getting out there with some of the other artists, that's kind of one of our big goals, to do that. Get out like at Spigma, play some stuff out there around the Nashville area. Just be out there in the Bluegrass circuit with the rest of our friends and the rest of the artists. That's kind of our goal.
And continuing to push the traditional music.
Yes.
It's coming back a lot more than I think people realize. You go to places like Stigma, and there's a lot more artists that are trying to push the traditional stuff, and that's what we want to do. We're traditionalists. We're the Bill Monroe, Black and Scruggs people. We love the roots of the music, where it comes from, and we try to keep that, in the forefront of what we do.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Adam, I know a little bit more about your history because, well, you and I, we met, it's been several years ago now. I've been very honored to watch you go through the channels and get to the point to where you are. Mikayla, I don't know so much about your history, so what got you into bluegrass?
My parents have kind of been in the bluegrass a little bit. My mom doesn't play much, but my dad has been playing in a gospel bluegrass band just locally in Virginia since I was born. So it's always been there. And my granddad played in a group called the Tidewater Grass right here in Virginia, and they traveled, did a few festivals. He played bass, which I actually didn't know that till I was middle teenage years before I actually realized that my granddad plays the bass, and that's what I chose to play myself. My dad plays the bass, and that's kind of how I was introduced to bluegrass. But when it came to learning more of the traditional stuff, that came from just kind of other people within my family, like my granddad and even other members of the band that my dad plays for. Listening to the stories they would tell, and then I started searching and researching myself and starting to listen to the old music. I started with guitar lessons when I was 11, and I played for a couple of years, and then I kind of, as most young teenagers do, I kind of got bored with it, and I wish I had not stopped playing, but I did. And I didn't start playing again until I was maybe 17. And that's when I picked up playing the bass, and I started on that. And I didn't have no lessons because I didn't know anybody that taught lessons. So I just kind of listened and, kind of learned a few chords here and there, and then just kind of, I guess, taught myself. But, I looked around at other bass players too, and tried to do what they did, and of course listen to the old music and play what they used to play and what I, hear them do. It's always been in my blood. I just didn't really discover it till I was around 17, 18.
Right, and Adam, there are folks out there that may not know your history, so if you don't mind, brush us up on that a little bit. Tell us about you and bluegrass music, because I know you've got tons of stories.
Oh, yeah. I got to think where to start. Well, I was probably, I'm trying to think, I was around 13, around that age. I had great uncles that played bluegrass music, and one of them played the fiddle. And I'd heard bluegrass on the TV, Rhonda Vincent, Doyle Lawson, just whoever you might find on the TV or few radio stations, but it didn't strike me at that time until I heard him play the fiddle. Something about the way he approached and played that fiddle grabbed my ear. Something about it just grabbed me. It was different. And I decided I wanted a fiddle. Well, everybody told me that was the hardest instrument to play. That you'll never do nothing with it. It's the hardest instrument to play. And, of course, I've always had the outlook. I said, well, if my Uncle Russell could do it, then I could too. That was my outlook. That didn't bother me. Well, I listened to more. I got bit by the bug, as they say, and I listened to them, and then I remember when we got a car with a CD player in it, and my mama bought CDs of all different kinds of music, and some of it was bluegrass. Well, it was the Stanley Brothers, Bill Monroe, Frank Scruggs, Jim Jesse, Smiley. The list went on of artists through the years. And I wore them tapes out. I just wore slant out. I couldn't get enough of it. And I'd ask, I said, well, what's that instrument? And my daddy said, well, that's a banjo. What's that? Well, that's a dobro or a mandolin or whatnot. And I couldn't get enough of it. That's all I thought of. And I wanted to learn the bass. I love the bass. I love a bass in any kind of music. That's what I go towards, is a bass. And my great uncle, he had a bass, and my grandmother got me a bass. She got me a fiddle first, and I didn't know nothing about it, so I got a bass, didn't know nothing about that. So we started taking some lessons from a local guy, and it just clicked. It just started clicking and clicking. And I couldn't get enough of it, and then I started trying a mandolin, a guitar, tried anything. And that's all I've ever thought of was bluegrass music, playing bluegrass music. And I told Mama, I said, I know what I want to do. She said, what? And I said, I want to play bluegrass music like Bill Monroe, Flat and Scruggs, and Ralph Stanley. I said, that's what I want to do. And I've worked and worked and worked and worked, played with some good people, been out there and got to travel and see places I never dreamed in 100 years I get to see. And that's kind of how my career got started in it. And I've got to play with some wonderful folks. Started out with Old Mill Mullins and Virginia Playboys. I was there for 3 years, played bass with them. I played with some semi-local groups around Virginia. Jerry Steinberg, Dixie Bluegrass Boys, played the guitar and sang lead for them. And I played with Johnny Johnson, Southern Gentlemen, a local group from Virginia, played the fiddle with them. And I just did kind of whatever was needed. Played fiddle for Kevin Prater Band out of Kentucky for 3 years. And now me and Mikayla both are working for Larry Efall and the Bluegrass Mountaineers, plus trying to do our own thing.
Well, that's going to make for a busy schedule once everything opens up. And, I'm sure you're glad that you went away from playing the bass, because that could have caused issues at this point.
Yeah, it could have. There's not much need for double basses.
Not too much. Well, we're going to go ahead and go into the next song. I want you to tell me a little bit about why you decided to put Waltz of the Angels on this particular project.
Well, we was looking through music and trying to decide and maybe what would fit and would go good. And Mikayla's grandmother, she made mention about this song. She asked me and her if we had ever heard Waltz of the Angels, and I said, yeah, I've heard it from Charlie Waller. Mm-hmm. She said, well, I've heard him do it on Ronnie Reno's show. She said, I think that is the best song. It's so pretty. And I told Mikayla, I said, you don't ever hear that song that much. I said, we ought to revisit that. So that's kind of how we got the idea to do it was from her. She mentioned it, and we said, well, let's try it and see how it works. And everybody that's heard it has really seemed to like it.
I think it was a great decision, and here we go from the album Two Hearts and One Goal, Waltz of the Angels.
There must be a power much higher than I, a writer of love songs way up in the sky,
the maker of roses, of love sweet and true, and the waltz of the angels he wrote just for you. The waltz of the angels I hear each time I hold you tightly in these arms of mine. It's surely from heaven, this music I hear. When you say I love you in waltz time, my dear,
there must be a power much higher than I, a writer of love songs way up in the sky,
the maker of roses, of love sweet and true, and the waltz of the angels he wrote just for you.
There must be a power much higher than I, a writer of love songs way up in the sky,
The maker of roses, of love sweet and true, and the waltz of the angels he wrote just for you, and the waltz of the angels he wrote just for you.
And we are back with Adam and Mikayla Burrows from Adam and Mikayla and the Bluegrass Tradition. We're talking about their new album, and we're going to share one more song in just a little bit. I want to know, how did you two meet?
Oh,
See, I had a feeling this was a story in itself.
yes, it is. We met at Cabin Fever, which was the first was it the first year you'd been there at that particular facility?
No, that I had been there prior before that. Me and my brother played where it's at now, but the year we played, I was pretty sick and didn't get a chance to really visit. But the reason...
the first year he was there, I missed him, because I've been going to Cabin Fever since I was about 10.
You didn't want to see me that
He
year.
was probably there, and I missed him. So that's kind of the funny thing to think about. But we met two years ago, almost 2.5, because it was in March of 2018. And I didn't see him. He saw me. I was in a jam with a couple of guys that were, over there playing guitars, and I had my back to him, but he walked in, I guess, and he was standing there with a friend of his, and I actually knew his friends. I'd known him for a couple of years, and he made mention of me because he knew I played the bass, and I can't remember what he said or...
Well, me, when I got there to
He was
Cabin
picking
Fever,
on you.
yeah, he, well, you know who he is, Paul Winstead.
Oh, my goodness. Trouble in
Yeah.
itself.
Oh, curly head.
Well, he told me he was going to be there. He said, when I got there, to give him a call. So I did, and I met him in the vendor hall, and that's where I seen her play. It was a group of guys, and me and him was talking, and I could hear the bass, and I said, man, she's a good bass player. I knew she wasn't a run-of-the-mill bass player.
Mm-hmm.
So she was playing stuff that you hear like John Gray do, Marshall Wilbur, and I said, who is this? Where's she been all my life? I thought she was a full-time bass player the way I was hearing her. Paul told me, and I said, I told Paul, I said, you can play a bass. He said, yes, you can play it. And I told him, I said, she's a lot prettier than you playing a bass. And I seen her around. She was walking. She had that bass in the cart, was going all over the place. And I'd gotten in a jam with some guys. Mr. Pensley was in there, different ones, and I was playing fiddle. And all of a sudden, she come in the room. And I said, Lord have mercy. I thought that was the prettiest woman I had ever seen in all my life. And we talked a little bit, and I give her a CD.
I think he gave me your fiddle CD
I did.
because I heard you play the Mockingbird. And I asked you to play it for me while you were sitting there jamming. So I realized, that's the boy that plays Mockingbird. So I asked you to do that. And then I guess as an excuse to talk to me, you brought me your fiddle CD and said, oh, here, this has the Mockingbird on it. And you said a few things. Now, he was hooked on me, and I really didn't pay him any mind. I was like, okay, cool, I got a free CD, this is nice. But then he must have found me on Facebook. He must have went on a search, because
I did.
He messaged me just a couple of days after that weekend was over and made small talk here and there for a couple of days, and then he got brave enough to ask for my number. And normally I would have said no, because I've had other guys do that, and I'd say, oh, no, I'm not interested, or no, thank you, whatever. But for some reason I said yes. I don't know why. I guess it was the good Lord telling me to do it. And then we texted for, I would not call him, and I would not answer his calls, but I texted him for about 3 months, and that was in March when we first started, and I think it was maybe in end of May or June, I had this feeling like I was going to marry him. It was like something told me that I was going to marry him, and I said, no, I don't know him, we just met, but, kind of brush that feeling off. But, then within a few months, I realized I was wrong. Round about, when was Rock Hawks? October?
Yeah,
around October that same year, he invited me to a festival that was here in Virginia that was close to the house. So I went, and it kind of got more serious after that. So then, of course, the next year at Cabin Fever, we were both there and spent the weekend jamming and talking and carrying on. And then in November, we were married. So within I guess it's a year and a half of meeting each other, we got married. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it made me happy whenever I heard that the two of you were getting married and everything. It was such wonderful news. I'm happy for both of you. And I do hope that y'all have a long, wonderful marriage. You've got a good, strong foundation already.
Yeah. Yep, we sure do. We really do.
We love the same things, and
I
think that helps, because, like I said, our goal is the same thing. And that's another thing with this CD. We tried to throw 3 or 4 songs that you don't hear very often, like you played earlier, 10 Paces. That's an old Don Reno and Red Smiley number that you never hear.
Mm-hmm.
And even The Angels is something you don't often hear. And there's an old Patsy Cline song that I do on there, Turn the Card Slowly. And then we wanted to do a few that people were very familiar with, like White House Blues, Castroni, Jimmy Martin song, and the last one you're going to play, of course, every bluegrass lover should know that. That's, good old Rocky Top. To kind of, throw songs in there that people would know, and then, kind of introduce some old songs that people may have never heard.
Well, I think you've done a wonderful job on this project, and I know you guys are busy with the other band and everything. I do hope that this is something that you can build on, and this is just the first of many. A lot of times that's how great bands get up to the top, is they keep pushing forward, even in the middle of everything else. They keep pushing it forward. Mm-hmm. And I see you two doing that because you've got each other for that support.
I've always had good support with people. My great uncle, he was a big supporter in what me and my brother always did. And me and Mikayla, he always told us, he said, no matter what, he said, no matter how bad it might look or how discouraged you get, he said, just keep on trucking. He said, that's all you can do, is just keep on going. And he was right. You just, no matter how hard it is or how big the mountain is you got to climb, you just got to climb over it and keep it going.
That's great words of wisdom right there.
Yeah, that's just all you do.
Now, do you guys have a website or anything such as that, or we're just going off of social media where I know everybody can find you?
Website, and it is under Adam and Mikayla and the Bluegrass Tradition. And you can go on there, and there's bios on there, and there's pictures, and I think there's a write-up of our story of us meeting on there, and there's a few songs, I think, on there from this CD and from his solo CD. It's called Bluegrass. There's, samples you can listen to, and you can order CDs off of there, I believe. And of course, the best place to reach us is our Facebook page, which, of course, is under the same name. And you can message us, and we usually get back to you within that day. And we love getting contacts from our fans. And it's an encouragement, too, when, if you hear the song or a CD that we put out that you like, and you shoot us a message and, tell us. It's encouraging for us because we know that, people are interested in what we're doing and that we have that fan support, and getting to, talk to people that are supporting us is a pretty cool thing too. But either one, you can kind of get on there, and of course our schedule is on the website, and our schedule with Larry Efall is on there too. So if you want to catch us out there with him, you know where to go to look.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we're going to do. And again, I want to thank you guys for taking this time to talk with me today. I'm going to close out with Rocky Top, but not before saying thank you. Much success to the two of you, and keep on doing traditional bluegrass music. That's what we love.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Wish that I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bills.
Once I had a boy on Rocky Top, half bear, the other half cat. Wild as a mink, but sweet as a pop. I still dream about that. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Once two strangers climbed on Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will.
Thorn won't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far. That's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
I've had years of crammed-up city life, trapped like a duck in a pen. All I know is it's our city life can be simple again.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Thank you for tuning in to another segment of Hear It Here on the BluegrassJamboree.com. We want to thank our special guest, Adam and Mikayla Burrows of Adam, Mikayla, and the Bluegrass Tradition. Stay tuned for more of the best in bluegrass, bluegrass gospel, and traditional country on the BluegrassJamboree.com.